Welcome everyone, I just got my hands on a Coral Island beta access key. So we're going to just jump right in. And the first thing you do is you create your character, and the character creator here is really nice. It's not all the way finished. There are a few options for them to add yet, but as you can see, we've got body type, weight, and skin color here on the first page, and you can really get down into different levels of the skin color. Once you're happy, you can click through to the face options page, and of course there are a lot of options here. I'll just fast forward through the character creation process. As you can see, just a bunch of options on every single page. You can really make the character help feel like it's yours. And I especially really like the color picker that lets you go into a lot of detail about how you want your character to look. And last but not least, there's the information about your character. So here you put in your name, what title you want to be known by. You can have a custom title if you really want, which could be quite fun, I'm sure. And then you put in the name of your farm. So while we get started, Coral Island is a farming RPG sim made by a studio called Stairway Games. They're based in Yogyakarta, but with a fairly extensive international team. It's set to release in its beta form on the 11th of October. I'm currently playing here through the early bird beta access key that I got through backing the project as an alpha backup. And the game is a lot like a Stardew Valley or a Harvest Moon, but as you can see, it's just gorgeous. Stairway Games has really gone above and beyond here with the attention to detail, the graphical quality, and overall look and feel of the game. Jumping ahead to the start of day one, and here is our farm. Now, the place is obviously not in great repair, but thankfully we've got Jocko and Dinda on the scene. They run the local carpenter and furniture shop and are here to help you settle in. But once Jocko and Dinda leave, now the real work begins. As you can see, we really have our work cut out for us. And there's kind of a humorous moment here when your character realizes just what state the farm is in. With some basic tools and seeds from Connor, it's time to get started. And our first order of business is to clear our fields, gather some wood and stone, and get our farm started. And with my crops finally sown and watered, it was time to go about collecting all the materials I need to fix my dump of a house. And to do that, I actually needed to make myself a makeshift chest, because without it there was no way I was going to be able to get the number of materials I needed without filling the inventory. Now, while I was clearing my field, I found something called a coffer. That's something I can take to the blacksmith to open up, and hopefully it'll have some nice goodies inside. And once I'd finally gotten the last bit of stone that I needed, it was time to head into the town and get my repairs done. And of course, there was always time to stop and pick a flower or two while I was on my way. I did also end up picking up from sass from one of the townspeople that I met. Finally made it to Jocko and Dinda's house, and was able to ask them to upgrade my house for me. And it was all hands on deck as we put the furniture in, and it turned out they'd given me a new free TV, or maybe not new, but hey, I can't complain. Then I got the nice little reward for finishing that quest, and then went about watering my last seed. I did some more clearing in my yard, and then went to settle down for the night. The next morning it was raining, so it was the perfect time to get a lot of stuff done. I did some more clearing in my yard, and then decided to go out and meet as many townies as I could. Alongside Takeba here, I met a lot of villagers, including Anne, Paul, Surya, Dipper, Sunny, Frank, Sam, Ben, Eva, Lily, Alia, Shyam, who I thought was an interesting interaction. Charles, Yuri, Erica, Macy, and Emily. I decided to go exploring the wilderness for a little while. Unfortunately, the cavern was closed, but along the way I met Kenny. Finally, it was time to rest my head once again. The next morning it was raining again, unfortunately, and a crow had eaten one of my crops. But nonetheless, I ventured out again. I met Judge Ross, who wasn't very talkative, and picked up a few shells along the beach. At the seaside inn, I met Alice, who seemed to remember me, and Suki, who had stretch marks. Then I went to the beach shack, where Sunny and Eleanor had a present for me. Went down to the beach and cleared up some trash, and speaking of trash... And then I swung into the blacksmith and met Raphael and his brother Pablo. Pablo was a bit flirtatious. I gave him a flower anyway, and then opened up 2 of the coffers that I'd found. I thought it was quite funny to give a spiky and pretty shell to someone who is, well, spiky and pretty. In the community centre, I met Theo, Leah, who I also gave a shell, and Noah. My next order of business was the museum. That's where I got a bit of a cutscene. I'm not going to go into too much of the backstory, but Scott needs some help with the museum. I agreed to help him fill it with treasures, and went on my way adding a necklace that I'd found. Back at my farm, I planted a wild seed that I'd found, and then checked out the leveling system. I also went bug catching. Finally, once again, I retired for the night. The next morning was quite sunny, so I had to water my plants. Also made a makeshift crate. Started reorganizing my items, and then went out to do some more foraging. I then encountered another cutscene that has quite a bit of story to it, so I'm not going to spoil anything here. Importantly, I met Taco. Back to the museum, and I donated all the bugs that I'd found so far. I gave a violet to Alice, which she didn't like very much. And I also met Waku and Emma. I decided to upgrade my bag since I'd gotten over 500 coins, and then checked the calendar. I saw that it was Joko's birthday. Down on the beach, I met Zara, who looks really cool, and picked up some flowers, and ended up giving a daffodil to Joko. He really liked his present. I then found a really dirty garbage patch, which I cleared out. Then went back to the museum, because I could donate some more bugs. In the square I met Walter and Valentina. Finally I tilled some more soil so that I could plant some of the wild seeds that I'd found that day, clearing out the rubbish. Don't forget to water your seeds when you plant them. And it was time to turn in once again. I leveled up in catching, which is pretty cool, and also improved my relationship with Joko, which is nice. The next morning I watched the TV and Game of Thrones was on, a cooking show featuring Gordon Ramsay. It is just hilarious, and I encourage everyone to go and watch it if they can. I leave my house and Mark is waiting for me, who's basically this big bear, who tells me that the cavern is cleared up and I can go see it. But first I have to harvest my stuff and water my plants and create some cavern food. Now it's time to go spelunking. The introduction to the cavern is kind of cool. You meet Kira, who gives you a sword and tells you you can go in. So it was time to start my adventures. You take the elevator down to the first floor, which is kind of funny. And it was time to start smashing some rocks. Through the magic of editing, I got through that pretty quickly. I found some copper nodes that I could mine, and progressed down another level where I found my first slime to kill. Not too difficult at all. So I progressed down a couple more levels, killing slime along the way, and of course, mining as many copper nodes as I could find. Having a lot of candied seeds was really helpful. I finally made it down to level 5 where I unlocked the next elevator level. Further on down, there was a couple of slimes. But I ended up too tired to really go much beyond that level, so it was time to head home. I made myself another chest where I could store all of my mining materials, and then went to bed. The next morning, there was another man outside my door. This time it was Pablo, to tell me that I could finally make a furnace. Which I did. I got my first bar of copper smelting, checked out the level that I'd unlocked, and then made a scarecrow. Heading out into town again, I encountered another cutscene. This cutscene featured Connor, who basically told me a lot of the town's backstory. I'm not going to spoil it here. I then met Millie, who is adorable, and then made my way to the blacksmith to smash some geodes, which actually gave me a few things to donate to the museum. I managed to give a flower to Alia along the way, and then donated my minerals. This actually triggered another cutscene where Scott goes through some plans to improve the museum. Again, I'm not going to spoil anyone. I go to the general store so that I can buy some more seeds for my garden. I could only afford cauliflower and carrot, but that's fine. Trying not to walk through a yoga class, I meet Antonio, and then plant my new seeds in my garden. I also made some fertilizer to see how it would go on my cauliflower. And then it was time to do some more clearing in my farm. There is a lot of rubbish. I watered a couple of more seeds that I'd found through clearing, and then went out, failing badly to catch bugs. Although I did actually end up catching a caterpillar. Got another seed. Decided to sell my caterpillar, and then went in for the night. There's another cutscene that happens in the middle of the night, and now it's time to harvest some crops, catch some more bugs, meet Oliver, donate some bugs to the museum, and clear a bunch of trash along the waterfront. On my way back, I meet Raj, who looks really cool. Watered my little seed there, cleared some more in my garden, and then headed into bed once again. The next morning, I find out that the lab is looking for a diving candidate, which is quite interesting. I meet Raj again, give a daffodil to Betty, which she loves, crack open a coffer, which just has trash in it, but I got some bugs to donate. Time to do a bit more yard clearing before I go out and fail badly to catch more bugs. Yep. At least I got that violet, and a couple of more bugs during the night. There's another storyline cutscene that happens here, but I'm not going to reveal too much of it. And that's it for the first week of Coral Island. I've had a really great time. In addition to Raj, who I just met, my favourite villagers so far are Shyam, Joko, Leah, Lily, Mark, Millie, Raphael, Surya, Yuri, Zara, and Aliyah. But I want to know what you think. In the comments below, let me know who you found interesting or what you're looking forward to playing in Coral Island. Even the first week of content has so much in it, and I really recommend it for fans of the genre. Just the passion that the devs have shown for this project is amazing. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like and a comment below, and please subscribe if you want to see more of my Coral Island series.